We live in a semi-arid region. We live in the Sonoran Desert. Water is a huge part of it. We've been in a 2-decade drought here. They're calling it a mega drought in the Colorado River Basin. So it's not just our city of Tucson and our greater community. It's us sitting in this larger basin that we share. 7 states, 2 countries, and what happens in the larger basin impacts us. So it's an issue that doesn't get enough attention when we talk about environmental issues in the U.S., but I think the public really understands it and knows it and feels it.
I think the hard thing as a consumer is the desire to have more and more things for water. It's trying to find that fine line of how much are we needing versus wanting. And then the other thing is kids' water play, you know. It's hot in Tucson, so the kids like to play in water, and we reuse as much as we can of that water.
Here. We moved from the city, and of course water conservation was don't leave the water running, or make sure your sprinklers don't run too long. 75 to 80% of all the wine grapes grown in Arizona are grown in this valley. It's got great soil, it's got slope, it's got a lot of benefits, but we definitely need to stay on top of the water part. Especially we have a lot of big ag around us. You know, if our neighbors around pump too much water, and it affects us. So it is a really big topic.
Everyone kind of has a story around water. They know, either where they grew up or a special place they like to vacation or hike or spend time with. And so people respond to water. They kind of understand what it means.
When we get to see things that we saw growing up now, where lake levels have drastically reduced, it definitely motivates us to want to be more intentional with our water usage. What worries me more is that the water will be reduced to the point where my kids won't get to enjoy things that I have enjoyed. The beauty of going out and being in a river, being in a lake, because it won't exist anymore.
Conversation is about different aspects of water, and I was invited to really set up the different pieces in the book, and in doing that I highlight what water looks like in the US today. What are the challenges that we're facing? What are the opportunities to kind of do things better and the pathways forward? And these speak to issues of quantity and quality and pollution. There are issues around affordability and how people are struggling with water bills. It's non-technical, it's kind of jargon-free. It's very much conversations that you could have around the kitchen table.
Whenever somebody calls a family friend or whatever, the conversation's always about water. The conversation is moving forward. People see the problem. Everybody realizes the problem. It's just trying to figure out a solution.
It definitely motivates us to want to engage with other people, to try and make sure that the conversation is alive and happening, because it's serious and it's important.
To have good impacts on the ground, we're realizing that you need a policy mix, that there isn't like a silver bullet, like one thing that you do. And what they mean by a mix is you need a little bit of regulation, then some kind of incentives, subsidies, something to help encourage or bring people along.
The big thing that we've done is we've created little rainwater barrel systems. We created 2 little trash cans, and we drilled a hole in it. It has a little pipe that comes out, and we even had a tiny little storm, and we had enough to water our entire backyard. We have little kiddie pools our kids play in, and we fill those up, Monday the kids play in it, and then Tuesday we water all of our backyard with it. Honestly, the extra time that it takes us is very minimal.
The Tucson community has been capturing unused surface water, recharging our aquifers. We've done a really great job of limiting and protecting our groundwater resources. We're seeing stormwater, rain, as a resource now in ways that we never have. So many communities across the U.S. historically have seen rain and stormwater as a nuisance, something to get rid of. Our city has really taken that as a valuable resource.
We aren't overdrafting our groundwater at all where we're at on our farm. I mean, we have 50 acres, we have 14 acres under vine, and there's years like last year where we had over 20 inches of rain where we didn't water at all for 6 weeks. I mean, we had a lot of moisture. You know, talking to geologists and things like that, there's plenty of water. It's just deep. And unfortunately, a lot of our neighbors in big ag, they're running 2 crops a year, and they're kind of the ones that are using a lot of that groundwater. And what we don't want to do is, pump so much water out of the ground that we're gonna have to dig 2,000-foot wells, and then the water quality is poor, and then our grape quality is poor. We're looking at all different types of avenues, and we're open for new techniques and technologies and things like that.
We're growing, but we're actually using less water per capita. So more people are coming, but we're getting smarter about how we use water. It's not just how we operate, in the home that we live in, but it's how we operate in the world. So I think what the individual does makes a world of difference.
Are the little things that we're doing making a big difference in the grand scheme of water conservation? Maybe. It probably saves us a little bit of water. I think it saves us maybe a little bit of money even. But I think the important thing is it's the attitude behind it, of especially for us teaching our kids that this world matters, that where we live matters.
When you're a farmer, it's all about conservation. You're a steward. We really, people could say, oh, you own this. No, we're just a steward of this for the next generation. And so we do feel like this is long-term, this is about community and our neighbors. Everybody might have to make a little bit of sacrifice, but it's like we are all together in this problem. Let's figure out a solution. So that's what's encouraging to me. It's not like, oh, there's not a problem because I have water in my well, but we're all in this together. We live in the same valley. We only have so much water, so let's get this figured out.